So today is March 17th, 2025. A few days ago, we were talking about noble silence, and also we were discussing about mindfulness, sati, how mindfulness protect our mind. But today, I would like to talk on one discourse, Anuggahita Sutta, the discourse on the supportive factors. This discourse explains that how we can nurture our vipassana practice systematically. So in this discourse, the Buddha mentioned about the 5 factors, that those factors are very supportive to develop vipassana right view. That is virtue, sila, and how to say, sutta means some general knowledge, you can say, and discussion, and samatha, tranquility, and again vipassana, insight. So these are 5 factors that are supportive to grow vipassana seed very well, and so that we can gain the benefits of practice, so that the vipassana seed can bear the fruits of path and fruition knowledge. And the commentators explained this sutta very clearly again. They gave an example of a gardener who plants the sweet mango seed and grow mango tree. So this gardener, how systematically he take care of this mango seed that he had planted, and how he get the mango fruits. So when a gardener, he plants a seed and slowly it grows. So if he wants to get the mango fruits, then first he had to build a fence around that plant, so that animals will not step on, or the animals will not eat that plant. So building a fence around that mango tree, mango plant, is very necessary, so that animals will not destroy that plant. But that is not enough. And time to time, he has to pour water. In pouring water, the water should be of a proper amount, not too much and not less. A proper amount of water should be poured on that plant time to time. And again, time to time, he needs to clean the fruits of the tree. So that means if the soil, the earth is too tight, too hard, then he needs to make it soft and loose so that the roots of the plant can grow freely and the roots can absorb the water and fertilizers. So the plant grows very quickly. So time to time, a gardener needs to loose and make soft the soil, the earth. And again, what he has to do is, if there is bugs, a gardener needs to prevent those insects. He needs to prevent the insects, and if the insects are already on the plants, then he needs to remove them so that the insects will not destroy the plant. So he has to do that too. Time to time, he has to check whether there are bugs in the insects in the plant or not. And again, what he has to do is, if he found some spider webs on the plant, on the tree, mango tree, then he again needs to remove those spider webs, because those spider webs can also prevent the growing of that plant. So in this way, if a gardener takes care of the plant he has planted, here the mango tree, systematically, very carefully, then that mango tree will bear the sweet mango fruits. This is the example the commentators explain in the text. So too, a yogi, a meditator, should nurture their vipassana practice. Yogis are planting a vipassana right view. Now yogis are planting a vipassana right view. So in order to gain the benefit from this practice, benefit the fruit of mental freedom and a fruit of wisdom. So in order to gain these benefits, a meditator also need to nurture that vipassana practice. So how can a meditator take care of this vipassana practice? So in this Anuggahita Sutta, the Buddha mentioned about the 5 factors which are very supportive. So among those 5 factors, the first one is Anuggahita. That means sila. If the practice is supported by sila, morality, it grows very quickly also. Here, sila, morality, restraining oneself from doing wrongdoings, especially the verbal and physical wrongdoings. Controlling oneself or not to commit the physical and verbal wrong actions. Here the yogis are observing the 8 precepts. Yeah? Basically 5 precepts also okay, but at the meditation centers, as a yogi, 8 precepts are mandatory. So they should observe 8 precepts. If we observe sila, then we can control our physical and verbal actions. And at the meantime, when we keep on practicing noting every arising objects, we automatically controlling our body and bodily actions and the verbal actions. Controlling bodily actions by observing sila, we are not killing, we are not stealing, and we are not committing any sexual misconduct. And also we are refraining from lying. We are refraining from false speech. We are refraining from slandering, harsh speech, and frivolous talk. Those are the verbal wrongdoings. But when we observe sila, we are refraining from those physical and verbal wrongdoings. And in the Noble Eightfold Path, you heard about the sila training, the sila sikha. That is samma vacha, samma kammanta, and samma ajiva. So samma vacha, refraining from false speech, slandering, harsh speech, and frivolous talk. Samma kammanta, refraining from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. And samma ajiva, refraining from those physical and verbal wrongdoings which are connected or related with our living, our livelihood. Means if someone kill for living and refraining from that type of killing, it becomes samma ajiva. So when we observe sila and when we are trying to observe every arising objects in our body and mind, then we are observing this sila in perfect way. And why we need to observe those morality sila? Because sila morality is a base or foundation for samadhi and panya. It is the base, it is the foundation for concentration and wisdom to grow. So we have to observe this sila very carefully. And as long as we are practicing very mindfully, very precisely, and continuously, we are, at the meantime, we are observing our sila very perfectly. So this sila is also very important in the practice. And observing sila is like fencing, building a fence so that animals will not destroy the plant. So it is like building a fence. And the second one is Sutta Anuggahita. Sutta Anuggahita means listening a proper Dhamma. Here, all the meditators first listen the instructions how to practice, the method of practice. You all listen the method of practice, because learning how to work, that is important. How to practice, we first learn. We first need to know how to practice. So listening the instructions and also every day listening the Dhamma. Listening the Dhamma talks, that is also supportive for the practice. So this is Sutta Anuggahita. Therefore, time to time, we have to listen the Dhamma, which helps our practice. But here we have to be very careful that we should not analyze the Dhamma that we have listened while we are practicing. Yeah, we are doing sitting meditation, we are doing walking meditation, and in daily activities also we are trying to be very mindful. So at that time we just focus on the present moment, the presently arising objects. During Dhamma talk time, we listen the Dhamma, and when we do sitting meditation, then at that time, if we are analyzing the Dhamma, we are examining, we are judging, so that Dhamma may become a hindrance at that time, because we are not at the present moment. We are not observing. We are not mindful at that time. Listening the Dhamma is very necessary, very helpful, but we should not spend our time in analyzing the Dhamma we heard in the Dhamma talks. Also, we learn from reading books. Yeah? So this Sutta Anuggahita, if the practice is supported by this sutta learning, then our practice grows very quickly. We improve in the practice very quickly. And the third factor is Anuggahita. So sakatsa means discussing, discussion. But this does not mean that after doing sitting meditation or after doing walking meditation, we all gathered in one place and we discuss about. It's not like that. Here, sakatsa discussion means during interview time, if you have any questions, if you have any misunderstandings, if you have any doubts, that could be discussed. So here, every alternate days, you have an interview. So that interview is a sakatsa discussion, expressing your experiences during sitting meditation, during walking meditation, and if there is any doubts, if there is something you don't know how to handle, how to deal with, then you can ask. So that is sakatsa discussion. So reporting your experiences, that is sakatsa. And here we should know, actually you already listened how to report during interviews. But again, I would like to describe a little bit. about this discussion. So reporting one's experiences, here the important thing is we should be able to report the main thing. In sitting meditation, our primary object is rising and falling movement in the abdomen. So as soon as we sit down, we direct our mind to the abdomen and try to follow the movements occurring there. So we should be able to report about the main object. Because if there is no any other secondary objects like thoughts, pain, itchiness, we would be observing the main object almost all the time if we do not have any specific secondary objects. If any secondary objects not obvious at that time, we stay with the primary object. We try to focus on the abdomen and try to follow that rising and falling movement from the very beginning till the end. So therefore, we first report about the primary object, how it is, whether we can observe it or not. If we can observe it, what we came to know, what we came to experience, we see the form of abdomen, or we see how the rising and falling occurs. Is the horizontal rising, falling, or vertical one, or in the sideways, long or short, how it is. Or we experience some tension, pressure, tightness, some expansion, some relaxation, what we experience. That one we have to report. That's very important. It's not necessary to say that my practice is very good. My concentration is very good. Actually, we don't need to report that way. Yeah? Reporting one's experience means to see how you are doing. Yeah? How we are doing. We really working or not? And when we really working what we experience directly. Therefore, when we go for interview, it's not necessary that my practice is very good. My concentration is so good. Actually, it's not very necessary. What we see, what we notice, that one we report. So at the beginning, we report about the rising and falling movement. Of course, sometimes some yogi, as soon as they close their eyes, they experience pain. Then you can report that way. As soon as I close my eyes, I feel pain somewhere and I focus on that pain. I keep on noting pain as a pain. So then describe about the pain. What type of pain is that? How do you note it? And how the pain changes? Whether it increases or decreases, or it is just a constant pain, or it is moving from one place to another place, and also what type of pain is like a stabbing pain, or just aching, or burning, or whatever. So that way we report. And if experience the pain disappeared, okay, then the pain disappeared. After that, what did you do? Oh, come back to rising and falling. Pay attention back to the rising and falling movement in the abdomen. So that way. And though we focus on the rising and falling movement in the abdomen, the mind, it does not stay in the rising and falling movement all the time. Very often it wanders. Many thoughts occurs. Sometimes many fantasies. So if we notice that one, then we note it. And what happened to that? The wandering mind, it stopped wandering, the thoughts disappear. Then what we do? Immediately come back to rising and falling. So that way we report what we really experience. So if you can, you have many sittings. So among those sittings, there might be a one best sitting, sometimes 2, 3 best sittings. So you can report about those sittings, 2, 3 sittings, combine them. And after in walking meditation also, my walking is okay. Actually, that is not enough. Yeah, my walking meditation is okay. My walking meditation becomes good. That is not enough. You have to elaborate it. What did you see? How do you walk? And what did you experience? That is important. So that is Sakatsa discussion. Yeah. In walking meditation, because you are advised to do all three kinds of walking, left, right. The first, at the beginning of walking, doing left and right. After doing it for 15 minutes, you do lifting and placing. That would be a bit slower, lifting slowly and placing also slowly. And after doing 15 to 20 minutes, then the last part you do lifting, moving, and placing. That would be even more slower because 3 notings in one step. So we cannot do that in fast manner. If we lift, move, and place down the legs in fast manner, there will be only leveling, not knowing anything. Therefore, this last kind of walking, lifting, moving, and placing, we need to do in slow manner, slowly lifting, slowly moving forward, and slowly placing down. From the very beginning till the end, we have to watch it very closely so that we will experience something. We will see what is lifting, what is moving, and what is placing down. And that one you have to report, especially about lifting, moving, and placing. When you report about the walking meditation, you have to report. And if you have a time, you can, and if you have some special experiences during lifting and placing, you can add that. And after that, about the daily activities. And when in reporting daily activities, only if you experience something special, then you mention about that special experiences in daily activities while you are eating, while you are doing other things like taking shower, when wearing clothes, putting clothes. So if you experience something special in daily activities, then you can add that. So the most important thing here we have to remember is, I note rising, falling, then my mind wanders, I note wandering mind, then I come back to rising, falling again, and I note it, and later I feel pain, and I note pain, then I come back to rising, falling. That way is not the correct way. So, what did you see? For example, if somebody asks you to eat sugar, somebody give you a spoon full of sugar and ask you to eat, and after eating, he will ask you, how is it? Then you have to explain how you notice when you eat sugar. You need to mention about the sugar. Oh, sugar is sweet. It is too sweet. Something like that. It's not enough that, yes, I ate sugar. That is not enough. What did you come to know when you eat sugar? And you will be able to explain about that only if you eat sugar mindfully. If you are talking or if you are thinking something, if you are imagining something, then you will not know the taste of the sugar. So same way, in the practice, every mental and physical phenomena, it got its own nature. It has its own nature. Every mental and physical phenomena got its own nature. And if we are very mindful observing those mental and physical phenomena, we come to experience. We come to know about those mental and physical phenomena, and that one we have to report. And also sometimes, though we try to note rising and falling, pain, wandering mind, and so on, but sometimes we forget. Though we try, but sometimes we forget to note. We miss the objects. That one also you mentioned. Honesty is very important. What you really do, what you really experience, report that way so that the teacher can know how the yogi is doing in the practice. What guidance he needs more. So that type of discussion, sakatsa, is very supportive in the practice, very supportive to grow this vipassana seed. So that is the third one. So it is like, in the example, it is like when the soil is too hard and too tight, making it loose, making it soft. So it is, the discussion is like making the soil more soft, more loose, so that the yogi will know how to continue his or her practice. That is the third factor, Sutta, Anuggahita. And the fourth one is Anuggahita. Samatha. You all know this word, samatha, tranquil. Samatha is making the mind calm, making the mind free of defilements, free of hindrances. So making the defilements, settle down so that it cannot get up again. Suppressing the defilements, suppressing the hindrances, that is samatha. So in the practice, when we put an effort to note every arising objects with aiming, we are aiming the object, we are putting effort, we are exerting effort to note every arising objects, then at that time, the mindfulness, it occurs. And when we keep on noting the objects very continuously and very respectfully, at that time, there is the continuity of noting. One noting is followed by the another one. So there is no gap. There is no gap between the two notings. And then kilesa, defilements, will not enter. They will not get a chance to enter into our mind. That means we are preventing kilesa, defilements, from entering into our mind. That is samatha. Suppressing the kilesas. Of course, it is for short while. As long as we can note the objects occurring at that moment, one after another, kilesa will not arise because it will not get a chance. But when we forget, when we miss the object, when we forget the object to note, there is a break, there is a gap, and at that time, the kilesa, defilements, will enter very easily. So Anuggahita means we should try our mind, our noting mind, to keep on the objects, every arising objects. Here, Vipassana practice, we are practicing Vipassana, so we have many objects. We have many objects, not just one object. Though we have many objects, if we can note one object after another, which is most obvious at that time, if we can continuously note those objects, then we feel that though we have many objects, the mind is very calm. It can keep noting one object after another very continuously. Means the mind is very concentrated in the objects, not in one object, but in many objects. The mind is very still, very calm, not wavering. So at that time, there is no chance for defilements to occur. So that is the Anuggahita. So it is like preventing the insects or removing the insects. So while we keep on noting that way, but sometimes the defilements, it arises because we are very careful. We are putting a lot of effort and we are aiming the objects. So noting that way, we prevent the kilesa, defilements, from occurring, or for some reason, if it occurs, it appears, then immediately we notice those defilements and we will be able to note them. By noting, we will be dispelling those defilements. So that is Anuggahita. And the fifth one is Anuggahita. Anuggahita supported by Vipassana insight. So what does this mean? That in the practice, when we continuously observe every arising physical and mental phenomena, we develop concentration. We develop mindfulness, we develop concentration, and so too wisdom. And the insight knowledge occurs stage by stage. And especially when we will be at the stage of Udayabhaya Jnana, seeing the knowledge of fast arising and passing away, Udayabaya Jnana, at that time, we feel very good. We feel very good, very peaceful, very comfortable, very light. No discomfort at all. At the beginning of practice, we have many painful sensations, many discomfort. But when we are at this knowledge of Udayabaya Jnana, the fast arising and passing away of the phenomena, we feel very good. And we feel very happy. So what could happen at that time that instead of noting this happy feeling, sometimes we will be enjoying it. We take delight on it. So if we are taking delight on that feeling, very good feeling, then we cannot go further. We stop there. We cannot develop higher insight knowledge, because we are enjoying the happiness that we are experiencing right now. So in that situation, what we have to do is not to take delight on that happy feeling, comfortable feeling, peaceful feeling. We have to note, we have to observe that feeling also. We just keep on observing, keep on noting continuously so that we will not stop there. So instead of noting if we are enjoying that feeling, then we will not reach our destination. It's like when you travel to somewhere and you are walking on the way, you see very beautiful place and you are wandering there, you are enjoying, you are spending your time there instead of walking further. You will not reach your destination. Same way, in the same way, in practice, when we have this type of very good feelings, good experiences, we should not take delight on it. We have to note it immediately if we feel very comfortable, very peaceful, very happy, so that we develop higher insight knowledge and we reach the path and fruition knowledge. So that way we have to nurture our vipassana practice that we are doing here. So vipassana Anuggahita is like removing the spider webs from the tree so that the tree grows very quickly. So these are the 5 supportive factors for the vipassana practice in order to grow the vipassana right view so that we experience the highest goal of path and fruition knowledge. Therefore, may you all be able to remember these factors, and may you all be able to apply it in the practice so that in this retreat you will bear the vipassana fruit, the path and the fruit of path and fruition knowledge. That's all for today.